Good morning, it's Ashley here from Paper&Twine, and yesterday afternoon, it was a very wet Sunday afternoon, I picked up this issue of Simply Cards and Papercraft. It's issue 264 and I have a feature in it, and a card made the front page and a card made the back page. So I thought what might be quite nice is if I showed you the process that I go through when I get a magazine commission. So get yourself a drink, buckle yourselves up for a bit of a ride, and then we'll have a look at the magazine and what the free gift is this issue. So what I do whenever I get a commission, if it's a paper pack like this, I put it into a cello bag myself so I can keep all the elements together. I print off the design brief, the commission brief, and read through it obviously, but I keep this as a reference. This is what's really important, so please bear in mind, split projects into last minute makes, special makes and extra special makes. So for this particular feature, I've got to make 6 cards, so I can do 2 for each of those sections. Ensure the cards look like a collection and coordinate with each other. Well, when you're using just a paper pad, that is quite easy to do. And then the editors usually give you some kind of inspiration, you know, the kinds of things they're looking for. And coincidentally for this inspiration, Lee sent me photos of cards that I made for a previous publication. The other thing that's really important for this particular commission I've got to do is that I need to do an SBS, which stands for step by step. So I've got to do step-by-step photos to make a full card. So one of the special makes or extra special makes, and then I've got the address to send it to, and on the other page underneath I've got the deadline date and the fee, which is also very important. The next thing I do is get everything out of the paper pack and separate it. So this is the cover, and there may be ways that I can use parts of the cover in the makes. And then I've got 5 topper sets, which I'm looking at with great interest to see where there are sentiments, where there are focal images and how I might use them. I've then got 4 foiled patterned papers. These are all 8 by 8. And then I've got 25 patterned papers. Now these are really nice papers, quite masculine and quite contemporary in their design. And I'm looking to see how I can cut them apart. So this one looks interesting. I can cut the pine cones and the spruce leaves perhaps, and then use the centre of that particular paper for something else. But we don't have any seams on these papers like we did with the Salvation Army pack, which was a couple of issues ago. So I'm going to have to really look at how I use these to build up the focal images in my cards. Now what's quite interesting is that there are some motifs that are repeated. So the spruce leaves in this paper here, there's also some toppers there, some little bits of ephemera. I've got some baubles which kind of pick up on the papers as well, but I can see quite a lot of fussy cutting happening with this. When I've sorted through all my papers, I then put a Pinterest board together. So this one is Fun Fold Christmas Cards, and I haven't really got very far with it yet, but I'm looking at how I can make the papers. This looks quite an interesting one because the editor would like some things that are interesting shapes, and yeah, this looks quite interesting. So I will continue to build my Pinterest board and then we shall start making. So I think I've decided on my first design for my simple make. I've got a white 10th fold 6x4 inch card base here. I've die cut the word happy from this Julie Hickey profile die 3 times and glued them together. I'm thinking I'm going to put some gilding flakes on here. But I don't want to cut into my papers from Practical Publishing because obviously I've only got a finite number of those. So when I'm working out a design, I use scraps. So I've been playing around with 1-inch squares, 2-inch squares, 1.5-inch squares, and I think it might be 1.25-inch squares that actually work on this, but I'll show you in a little while when I've finished. So the first card is done. I'm quite happy with that. It hasn't taken too long, and I have almost finished typing up the instructions. Usually I do the instructions at the end, but I'm going to try and do them as I go this time. So I'm almost done with this one. So the second card is done and dusted. I've taken some of the circular frames and one of the background papers which matches the frame, and a circle topper that says Merry Christmas, and I've made a shaker card, a shaker rocker card. Who doesn't like a shaker rocker card? I might have another go at this. I don't like how I've mounted it on that, but I think we're looking for a cohesive card collection, and I think the white just kind of brings everything together. But I'm quite pleased with today's little job. It is August the 27th as I'm filming this. Deadline is the 17th of September. So I've still got a little bit of time left. 2 cards down, 4 to go. So I need to do some step-by-step photographs for this particular commission that I'm doing, and I'm set up so that I can have my hands in the photos. The editors do like you to have your hands in the photos. My setup, and this is what I use for when I'm filming tutorials as well, I've got my phone in my Archon mount here, facing down onto my cutting mat. Gosh, Ashley, get your blooming words out. And I can see here with this very, very old ancient Apple Mac that doesn't really do very much, but it enables me to see what I can see. And then I've got this foot pedal here which works on Bluetooth with my phone. I'm going to pop it on the floor, and then when I take a photograph, sorry about that, you should see on here I use my foot, and you can see that that's taken a photo. Just do another one for Jazz. Obviously this little message on this old laptop isn't going anywhere, but this is my first photo. I'm just going to have some text on it, kind of like, I don't know, Matt and Leia, a load of die cut stars. So here I am at 10 to 3 on Monday, September the 9th. I've got just over a week to meet the deadline, and I am pleased to say I have made all of my cards. Oh, the relief, I cannot tell you. Let me flip you over and show you what I've made. So part of the brief was to make sure that the cards look like a collection and coordinate with each other colour-wise. I think I've managed that. To be different sizes, shapes and orientations, I think I've managed that. To be last minute makes, special makes and extra special makes, and I think I've managed that. So you've seen these ones before, so I won't dwell on them too much. These are really quick and easy to make, making use of the toppers and the background papers. Shaker rocker cards, you know, are one of my favourites. That's a special make. This is also a special make because of this gilding flakes covered die there. Just really lovely. And then just cutting little bits of paper just to break up that white space a little bit. Then these ones you haven't seen before. These are the ones that have been giving me grief. So this is my first special make, or extra special make I should say. I've taken a little bit of one of the background papers, a topper, one of the die cut baubles. I've pierced holes in them, and then I've just let that hang down below. Few little glosses, glitter glosses, but then the magic happens inside this one, and this centre piece here does fold to go into the card, but then I've used those baubles that are on the topper sheet and just pierced a hole through them with my pokey tool, hung some lightweight white cotton. I've just cut some of the patterned paper from the back so that when they do kind of twizzle, You're not just getting a white background, just to make that a little bit extra special. I've cut up the sentiment, "'Tis the season to shine," but this is lovely. Well, I think it's lovely. I'm so pleased with this. I must thank Sam Calcott. She saved my bacon in the sunflower card commission. I used one of her ideas to make the octagon pop-up card, and that made the front cover. This is also one of her ideas. She does a 4-layered spring card, she calls it, and inside here are some little springs to just add dimension to the card, but it also means that it will fold a little bit flatter to go into an envelope. And then just to spice things up a little bit, I've used a circle or circular sentiment in the middle of this star, and then used acetate strips to attach these little bits of foliage, etc., that are coming out of the star. This is a really useful thing. I don't know why I haven't thought of it before. A lot of tent folding cards tend to splay, and on this card you're going to write your message on the back, but a lot of top folded cards tend to splay, and Sam has come up with a little device which she calls a stopper, and it just means that this card will only open a maximum of 1 inch. I love it. And from the side you can see it packs quite a punch. All I've got to do now, and I will be back to show you, all I've got to do now is write my instructions. I've done one already, and then package everything up for it to go in the post. If it goes in the post Wednesday, I'll send it first class, signed for. It should get there easily by Tuesday. I've cut it close to the wire on this one, that's for sure. It's about 7 o'clock on Monday, the 9th September. I have typed up all of my instructions and saved them. I have done my photographs and put them in a folder, and I've labelled the ones that I think they might want to use, but I'll probably send them via WeTransfer, these other ones as well. And then I put everything in a plastic or cello bag, and every card has got a post-it note with the issue of the magazine, my name, and the title of what I've called it in my Word document. So they're all packaged up. Just need to find a decent jiffy bag now to put everything in, and I always include a little handmade card. I've just thrown this together really quickly, a couple of strips out of my strips storage, and a vellum sticker, which I think looks quite nice over that. Just written a little message inside. So this will get packaged up, and the next time I see you will be when the magazine is published. I hope you found that helpful, guys. I did have fun with this in the end. It's really difficult because there are so many people that are on the design team for these magazines, and there's not very many commissions to go around everybody. So when they ask, I always say yes. I think I've only said no on one occasion in the nearly 4 years that I've been doing this. And I think that was because I just got so much else on at that moment in time. You know, you think if you say no, they're not going to ask you again. So anyway, I say yes. And although these stars of cards wouldn't be what I'd make for me, I think that's part of being on a design team. It pushes you outside your comfort zone. Anyway, what you get with this magazine is the Opulent Ornaments paper pack. I might do a giveaway of this. I am aware that I have got other giveaways live on my channel at the moment, giving away things, but I don't need this. I'm not going to use it. So I will maybe put a bundle together of stuff in the future. So that can go. And then there's this as well, which I didn't get sent, but there's a whole raft of big papers for Christmas, A4, slightly bigger than A4. And again, I don't know whether I would use these or not. Some maybe that's quite nice and doesn't have to be Christmas. Yes, but you get that big booklet as well. I did see somebody, can't remember their name. They popped up. It's really funny. They popped up in my feed as a suggested video, and it happened to be them doing a flick through of this issue of Simply Cards and Papercraft, and they stopped first off on my double page spread. So of course I subscribed immediately. If I remember who it is, I'll put it in the description box or on the screen or something. But they said that when they get papers like this, they photocopy them. That's a nice one. And again, that doesn't have to be Christmas. Might do something with that. Papers are useful, aren't they? And you've got some toppers there that you can fussy cut. With these kinds of things, I would always back them onto thin card. Although you see, I like that. I like that as well. Anyway, we'll put that to one side and have a little look in the magazine. And I may be back later to do a quick and simple card with things that I've got left. So on the front, you can see that my card here made the front cover, and it says striking designs made easy with your must-have paper pad. And I do like that a lot of my makes are kind of unisex, and I think the editors quite like that. They don't want everything to just be for women of a certain age. We've got insight into Justine Hovey. Then on the back here, as I already alluded to, there's a shaker rocker card here, and I've photographed that quite nicely there, so you can actually see the shaker elements inside. But I'm not going to do a massive flick through because I might do that as a separate video. But you can see 4 of 6 of my makes are here. Now, I said in that little clip that you've just seen that I talked about these already. I think I lost the footage or didn't press record or something because I couldn't find the clip where I talked about these cards. So we'll talk about them in more detail as we get to the page. So here's a bigger version of 4 of the cards. I love this star card, and as I said, Sam Calcott has saved my bacon. And it's interesting that you can actually download all of the papers that are in that Opulent pack, so that you don't run out. Obviously, you're not going to get the foiling. This paper was lovely. I really liked this. So we'll talk about these 2 cards. These were my last minute makes. So just a simple, I think it's a 5x5. Oh, it's a 14 centimetre square card blank. And I cut a square probably at 12 centimetres. Yeah, 12 centimetres. And I cut it on the diagonal to make a triangle so that I've got the spruce image there. Just going to bring you down a little bit closer. As I said in another video, I'm recording on a different phone, and I can't get the picture on my computer screen to orientate into landscape. It's vertical. So yeah, anyway, yes, I talked about the fact that I might fussy cut these. I didn't. So for a quick last minute make, I've just cut a square 12 centimetres, cut it on the diagonal, and of course that means that you've got another piece that you can use for another card. And then I used a piece of gold card, and I rounded 2 corners. I took a square topper, rounded 2 corners, and put it on there, and I think that just gives quite a nice composition. And then I've got some little jemmies picked up on the little bouquet effects here with some little jemmies there. Then this is a really what's the word I'm looking for? A clever hack in a way, I guess. Sometimes you might have a piece of card in your scraps box and it's not big enough to make a complete card blank out of. And I think I could have with this, but what I did was I folded at a certain point and burnished so that I'd got a big blank piece here where you would write your message. Then I measured another piece of card that was the same as this and put the backing paper on, and then used the topper to join the 2 together. And the topper had got little bits cut out the corners, but I just trimmed it to make it a different shape, because again that was something that the editor was interested in. Then here's the one that I love, and you can see the step-by-step photographs here and the ones that they've chosen to use. Interestingly, actually, I need to read these magazines more. I confess I only look at the pictures. Do you only look at the pictures, or do you actually read the instructions? I've made myself a lot of work here because I've given really detailed instructions, but then I've also given instructions for each of the photos, and they've just used the instructions for each of the photos. It'd be interesting to go back and look at my file to see if they've used the photos that I suggested or whether they've chosen from the other ones. And you can see here the little stopper bit. No, sorry, that's a spring bit, I think. Oh no, it is the stopper, yeah. Really, really interesting, clever little technique to stop your cards splaying open when they're being displayed. And then this one here, well, there's two here. There's the one that you saw in detail in the little clips with the gilding flakes. It's a shame that the vibrancy of the gilding flakes hasn't photographed particularly well there. And then the shaker rocker card we've already talked about. And then this one. It's a real shame that they could have done two photos. So what I would have done, personally, I would have photographed it as it is so that you can see what it could look like. But then I would have done a little insert photo here to show the inside, because the top tip doesn't really make much sense because I've talked about matting and layering inside. But yes, those are my makes. So do comment down below which one of mine you like the best. I did that on the last magazine that I was in, which was not very long ago because I bought it late. I think it was only last week, actually. Yes, comment down below which card you like best, or which card out of the 5 that I've made that you would have a go at making yourself. So you've got 2 choices to comment, engage with me. And I will send this Opulent Ornaments pack out. And I'll draw next week for some winners for all of my giveaways. I think I'll do a big video, but come back later this week and we'll perhaps make a card. Should we make one of my cards, or not? There we go. Anyway, I've been wittering on long enough. I will be back soon. If you have enjoyed this video, I would love it if you shared. I would love it if you subscribed. I'm trying to get to 1,750 subscribers by Christmas. 2,000 would be lovely, but no, I'm not going to grow that quickly. So do like, share and subscribe, and above all, engage with me in the comments, and I promise I'll get back to you very soon. Take care now.